Okay, so today this is the first video of this JavaScript playlist. So what we'll do is we implement mostly asked JavaScript interview questions from from unicorn startup to MNC companies. So I will start with today with this promise polyfill. So today our goal is to implement the Promise.all Polyfill. So before implementing, what I do is I'm starting with the blank editor itself. So like generally in this blank set, I don't have any uh, suggestions or the auto completion stuff. So it's better to hands-on experience and it's more convenient to recall. So yeah, so let's first understand what the promise.all means actually. Okay, so let me come to an example first. So let's suppose I have a function. Okay, this is a function and this function takes some time. Okay, this is a let me first write it down. This function takes in resolve, reject, and this is a dummy function that mimics an API request. Within this, I have a function. Let me just go with the timer I have passed. Okay, I will come to the point. What the okay? So this resolve with the timer. Okay, okay. So okay, so 1,000, 5,000. Okay, let me just reduce it to 2,000 so it's better to understand. And a non-promise value. So let's start with what actually promise.all actually mean. So the promise all is an method, the static method that in the promise provided by the promise, its work is like it takes an array of promises, okay, and execute them one by one and return a new promise with an the values are the result is an array. Okay, so let me just write for the explanation. So like we have this array as a promise. Okay, multiple promises are there and a non-promise. So this array of promise, it will be take and it will execute one by one and store those values in a order, the order they have in the in this exact input array. Okay, so let's start with the implementation. What we'll do is I'll take the promise my all. Okay, the function, this take entries. Okay, this is the input. Okay, so let's break down the problem. How do I actually solve this problem? So as we know, it's return a promise, right? So let's start with the promise. It return a promise. So okay, let write this thing. Okay. Okay. Yeah. One more thing. If any one of the promise got failed, that means the entire promise will be rejected with the message. Okay. I'll come to that point. Or like, what does mean? Uh, so what do you do? What do you know? This returns a promise, but the values are in the result such that the values are already resolved and stored in a specific order. like the way they are already have. Like for this promise, the result of this promise will be stored at the zeroth index. For this promise, the result will be stored in this index. Okay, so like that way. So from this statement, we know we have to store a result as well. Okay, and the next thing is, uh, when do we resolve this promise, right? That's the question. So what was the condition, or what was the parameter, or the that pointer that we know this promise will got resolved when this complete traversal of this array completed, right? So can we we can create an variable completion for this. Okay, so this is basically track our the array items. Okay, so now from this statement, what we'll do is like we execute each of the I promise, right, from the array. So we can do this entries dot for each, and this will be the item. Okay, and I am taking the index. Let me now clear you why I am taking the index here. What the need of the index? So as I said, the order should be maintained, right? This promise resolve when this promise got resolved, the value will be at this index, right? That's why I am taking it. So what I'll do is like result of index to be what? This promise itself, right? So why now what we'll do is like here, uh, okay, this will be promise item dot. Okay, let me just remove this, because this will, when the promise got resolved, then only. Okay, what I'll do, I'll just promise dot resolve this promise. So this is a static method. It will directly resolve the promise. Why I'm taking this? Because I have an item, this promise dot all. If you look at the native promise dot all JavaScript API, there you find out this non-promise is converted into a promise and directly resolved. So can we say this promise dot resolve one directly? This will resolve. So that's for that one, and for this it will execute this way, like directly resolve this promise as well. So I can call this then, and from this I will have a value. Now what I'll do, I'll store this value in that index. Okay, and then I will increment the completion, because the first index you have completed this one. Okay, then let me like explain you like this way. Okay, then the here will be the catch. Let's suppose, what if that promise got this item, the promise, this promise. If this promise got reject, for that reason, what we'll do, we'll hear error and we'll just reject with the error. Okay, we are just rejecting with the error. Now what we'll do is like, uh, okay, now check. We are traversing through the array, right? So what the promise dot all says, after completion of each of the promise within that array, then only return the result, right? It will not like go here, then you give the result, then like not this way. It will wait for the complete array to be completed. Okay, so in this case, we have to check this completion, right? Completion equal to our entries dot length. Okay, if this completed, then only we have to do we can resolve with the result. Okay. Okay, now let's paste this code in our compiler. Okay, I have this function work in this main.all. Okay, and let me just write it at top of it. So it's okay. Now what I'll do is like I'm just call each of the promise dot my all with this passing the work entries, and I will then okay because it's written the result. So let me just console dot log with the result because result in array. Okay, and then let's suppose if it's got failed, then sorry. Okay, so error, error with the message. Okay, we'll check for the catch later on. First, let's check whether our then is working or not. Okay, so let me run it. There is some error. Okay, what error is? Okay, work one. Let's suppose. Okay, now let me check. See, the past 1000, that means 1 second completed. The value stored the same to 2000 second completed. Then this value is there. Then the last one, the one. Okay, so now check for our the second approach the catch whether we are getting the catch or not. So for this what I'll do, I'll like if the timer is less than 100 1000, or let me okay, let's check with this because for the one, if you look at the last item of this array, we are not uh, passing the timer, right? That means here in JavaScript, this function, var function is also undefined. The timer will be undefined. That means this will be for got failed. So this is rejected. Okay. So what do you know? The promise dot all reject with the message error. Okay. Okay. So maybe this will not like this way. Okay. Okay. Let me just write it for 2000. This will reject with reject. Yeah. Now it's got rejected. Okay. So yeah, this is the implementation of the promise.all. So try it yourself in a blank editor, step by step. Go through the what, why exactly result is there, why the completion is there, and what exactly you are doing on each of the step. Because what I observe while practicing, like promise is mostly synchronous kind of like it's a just JavaScript API just for the perform or the that reduces the why. If you ask me one question like why promises are even exists. So like previously we do how do we handle our asynchronous tasks? Like after this task one, then only task two will be performed. How do you manage that? Callbacks. We are basically passing a callback, right? Tasks. We are passing the callback, then executing this. Okay, then within this we are task to execute. Then again after completing, then we are again task three like this way. So to this is like callback help first of all, and is have a dependency like inversion problem where if you look at the tax 3, who is with the responsible for tax 3 to handle tax 2? Obviously we don't know no, who will return this tax 2 is other developer can be right or some like in future something comes, then how do you debug? It's hard to debug as well. So we are giving the control to this function, then tax 2 is also tax 1 responsible. So that's why we are coming to the promise. Okay. where a particular object is present, and within that object we are calling one by one. Okay. So yeah, that's all about. Thank you.